There is a massive propaganda campaign, and tens of thousands of psychologists are hard at work to get people to reinvent themselves. As teenagers, many people are still trying to find themselves, experimenting, asking themselves who they are. And more often than not, the answer they get is from the white power structure and the Jewish internationalists. They get the answer from the TV, from the movies, from the news. They get their answer from the controlled, bought and paid for by Rockefellers, Fords, DuPonts, Warburgs, and other people with money who think like that. They do not get their information from African history. Because according to the African culture and scale, who Africans are a great race of people that reject homosexuality. Very few African cultures have acceptance of homosexuality. And even though the West has heavily influenced Africa to the point where Boko Haram, has been interpreted as Western culture is sacrilegious, to this day, they reject homosexuality. It is ingrained in their mind, body, and soul. The spirit of the African people is the rejection, the almost complete and never-ending rejection of homosexuality and un-African practices. Unlike with homosexuality and gay-compatible non-African philosophies, Christianity discusses Africa in great detail. Egypt, the people of Africa. Hebrew is an Afro-Asiatic dialect. This overlaps with our history. The gay rights movement does not. There was no gay rights movement in Africa. Just people who were deeply ashamed of having disgraced their family by not keeping their detestable urges to themselves. It doesn't take a genius to make the distinction between natural, healthy urges and behaviors and thoughts and unnatural, technology-based, psychology-based behaviors. They come as the result of the victimization of minority groups in a psychology-based, cultural imperialist society like the Western ones we have today. The route of the homosexual is a route of cowardice. They refuse to man up, generally speaking. They don't dress like a man. They don't speak like a man. They don't stand against oppression for all that is right like a man. They only stand for their complex, and only when there's a bunch of other gays there to make them feel secure. This is not African. We had to stand in the fucking jungle like a man. Zulus would pick the hair off a lion's tail. Can you imagine a homosexual doing that? Or even starting to do it? They're fucking cowards. No way, no how would the vast majority of homosexuals ever do that. Do homosexuals bring a proud, generation into a tribe, into the African world? No, they don't. Is being homosexual progress for Africans? No, it's not. Like it or not, we are in a reproduction war with the white man. That by itself makes anyone who's part of a gay agenda a fucking race traitor. Any black person who's part of a gay agenda is a race traitor of the worst kind. The main war we have with the white man, you stupid fucking son of a bitch, is a reproduction war. Will whites wipe off the black man? Like Tupac said, y'all ain't never gonna wipe us out. We always gonna be here. Why was he? That was what he was the most upset about. Because we are in a reproduction war with the white man who has low fertility rates. So he wants to spread his attitude toward homosexuality into the black communities of the world so that we too have low fertility rates. They are putting chemicals into the food, into the water. They're putting sugars into everything to make you more suggestible. And that comes straight from CIA and military psychology. Torture techniques. You give people drugs to make them more suggestible. And you use psychology, techniques from psychology to try to get them to behave and to speak in a way that you want them to. And to feel the way that you want them to. Well, the reason why the black man feels like he ain't shit, he's supporting homosexuality, he's shooting himself and not his true enemy, he rejects African culture and comes up with fake holidays, which are twists of African culture, Roman twists of African culture. He doesn't know who he is. The black man is accepting the philosophies of corporate elitists who have waged a reproduction war on the black community. It is very simple. The answer isn't to cry about how the Bible is evil and all this, when the Bible supports a strong African family structure. The answer isn't to pretend that there aren't secret societies like the ones that hired you to fucking play stupid, bringing down the black community. The answer isn't to say, oh, the Bible was used for this and that. Yeah, who was it used by? It was used by your network, you stupid son of a bitch, and it still is. You think every Christian on TV is a real Christian? You think none of them have any connections to old money, to secret society? Are you fucking stupid? It is a known fact that they do. You think a pedophile who rapes a child in the church is a true Christian and not a fucking gay traitor? Think again. The resulting cultures of Christianity in its true form are what is best for the black community. For people to pretend that that's not the case because they want to be accepted makes them sickos that need to be dealt with. For those of you who were about to say, oh, that's bullshit. Do you think it's a coincidence that South Africa has the highest rate of acceptance of homosexuality in all of Africa? So you think perhaps apartheid, neocolonialism, cultural imperialism, eugenics, and all the dark aspects of Western culture magically enlightened probably the most oppressed group of blacks on the planet, South Africans, with their ridiculous AIDS rate. Are you really that fucking stupid? Are you really that fucking stupid? That these gays who are the submissive, assimilated pussies agree with a group of blacks who have been broken after decades of world white supremacy, targeting them for being true revolutionaries, like those that rode with Mandela. What do you think happened? The South Africans were eventually broken. The story of South Africa isn't the triumph of the black man over the triumph of the white man. It is the triumph of the media, the international Jew, and the white power structure over the black man. As they pretend that some kind of victory was won for black people all over the world. Look at how much those South Africans suffer. They're strung out on drugs. They're killing each other. They're dying of AIDS. They're desperate. They're like, we'll do whatever you say, Mr. White Man. Include push your gay agenda to survive. Now, African Americans aren't in that much of a hopeless situation, but these fucking cowards are saying the same thing to their oppressor nonetheless. So what I'd say to the African American community is grow a fucking pair. You complicit fucking house nigga pussies. And what I would say to the African community is you must separate yourself from these fucking cowards before they infect you with faggotry and cowardice. Look, I'm not one of you controlled, paid for by fucking Ford Foundation bitches. My message to everyone is get your fucking white devil homosexual, satanic agenda the fuck out of the black communities, or there will be fucking war. It's a philosophical war, not a racial war. Anyone on their side, philosophically, must be fucking dealt with. That is the message. You keep your fucking white culture the fuck out of the black communities, you fucking cowards. And that goes double for the Zionist. At the end of the day, violence is a potential answer. These people are a bunch of cowardly liberals who are afraid to get their hands bloody for the most part. When shit really hits the fan and we're like, look, we're either going to unite as a bunch of controlled by gay Masons, Ford Foundation bootlickers, or we're going to unite as black people who are free. When finally things come to a head, and the gays can no longer avoid their argument, they can no longer use their control of the media to try to make it seem like they're right. When shit hits the fucking fan, there might be one or two gay people, trying to go against the grain. I'm telling you like this, man. I'm not the only black person in America that feels this way, And the fact that you people are doing things in a way that is making African American culture like an infectious disease that must be cut off from the rest of the black world, doesn't sit well with them either. And if they really search their minds, bodies, and souls, and search their hearts, they'll see that I'm right to say everything I've said in this video. Just because African Americans are going off a fucking gay cliff, a cliff labeled sexual liberation, doesn't mean they should take every other black person in the world with them. It is one thing to be gay and to accept that black culture rejects it and to keep it to your fucking self. Or to be gay and to move into the suburbs like Darren Walker and go kiss the white man's ass. But when you come back to the black communities, acting like you're a gay Superman and that homosexuality is going to liberate us, and that doing it the white man's way is what's best for us, that's when you must be dealt with, one way or another. You must be stopped. And if the black community in America does not stop you, then the black community of the world needs to cut off and ostracize African Americans, even if there's a million of them that don't agree with the rest of them. Because this is who they have defined themselves as. They failed to be who they are, and they have accepted the suggestions of their satanic, dual gender, Baphomet worshipping oppressors. Being a part of the Western push, pretending that Christianity was the problem when Christians abolished slavery, when the Age of Enlightenment philosophers were just all talk. They deal in psychology and talk. For not having my back. For being just all around traitors and cowards. I am now forced to the stance that either you are gay or you are black. I see that any level of acceptance is giving the devil an inch, and they will take a mile. They plan to achieve homosexual oppression inch by inch, where the homosexual is a full-fledged oppressor, and not just the majority of the oppressors that we have today. So I say to you all, either you are gay or you are black. You can do something stupid and try to go against me on this. What does that make you? Even if you win, what the fuck does that make you? It makes you the biggest race traitor in history. The biggest race traitor is the one who goes after the guy who's trying to advance his race the most. The biggest race traitor is the guy who avoids the key points that makes him wrong. The biggest race traitor is the one who cites fabricated studies by corporations. The biggest race traitor is the one who denies what we all know. Why would you come into a black movement with lies? And of course they're going to say something stupid like, well, the Bible is lies. That is irrelevant. I'm not arguing whether every black person should be a Christian. I'm saying that Christian morality is what held us down. African traditional cultures and Christian morality are what it means to be black and African American. Everything else is some kind of gay twist of reality.